Well, as promised, we have lots of stocks in focus, so let's get straight to it. Bandhan Bank, first up, the founder CEO has resigned, much to a negative surprise for the street. Abhishek is here to give us the latest on that. Abhishek, seems like this came out of nowhere, but tell us more about this.
Well, yes, this came out of nowhere and it's a negative surprise given the fact that there is no leadership planning right now that they have currently. So Mr. C.S. Ghosh, founder and CEO, has decided to retire from the bank post his current tenure. So he will serve the company until his last date of the current tenure, that is 9th of July 2024. Now, Jefferies has written on Bandhan Bank, they have downgraded the stock to underperformance from buy and they have cut the target price massively to 170 from 290 that they had earlier. They say that in a surprise move, Bandhan Bank's founder CEO has resigned with effect from 9th of July, even as the board has actually approved a 3-year reappointment for him and the application was awaiting RBI's approval. Smooth succession is a key given the fact that many of the senior managements that they have hired are relatively new to the system or new to the bank. So uncertainty may lead to slower loan growth and higher credit costs for the entity going ahead. And they also see valuation staying under overhang from this uncertainty. Back to you.
All right, Abhishek, thanks very much for that. So that's the first exit, right? Big exit at the top that we want to highlight. The second one is at Wipro. The reactions, on both may be pretty divergent. Rima is here with details on this one. Rima, take it away.
Thanks so much for that. In an unexpected move and a surprise, Wipro CEO Thierry Delaporte has stepped down immediately. He will stay on with the company till the 31st of May to ensure a smooth transition, but he steps down before his term comes to an end in July of 2025. So he's stepping down a good 14 months before that and just a few days before their Q4 numbers. He will be replaced by Srinivas Pallia effective immediately. He's been given a 5-year term. Now, Srinivas Pallia is a Wipro veteran and an insider. He's been with the company since 1992. He's held many leadership positions, the latest one being the head of America, which is about 31% of their overall, 31% of their overall revenue. Now, the news is mixed. On one hand, the street likes the fact that this time they've gone with an internal candidate over an external candidate because it does give him a head start. He knows the way things function. But the negative is there going to be a change in the strategy? Because under Thierry, there was a focus on consulting. They made that big Capco acquisition. So is there going to be a change in strategy? Will it delay their recovery, turnaround? And we'll have to wait for some time before we understand the turnaround strategy under the new CEO. But this is going to be one big, change. Back to you.
Okay, all right. Let's see how that plays out on both those two stocks. Wipro as well as Bandhan could start off in the red, but it'll be interesting to see what happens from there on. Well, let's focus on Tata Steel then. They came out with their provisional numbers for the past quarter, and they looked rather good in comparison, more good than bad, one would have to say. The India operations, 5.4 million tons is what they've delivered. That's up by close to 11% on a quarter-to-quarter basis, and on a year-on-year basis, it's up close to around 5%. Netherlands, well, on a year-on-year basis, it's a little bit lower, but on a quarter-to-quarter basis, it's better because the realignment, the refurbishment of one of their blast furnace, that's been taken care of, and the production restarted in February. So actually, there's a bit of an uptake if you look at it on a quarter-to-quarter basis. And the European business as well did recover on a quarter-to-quarter basis because of a seasonal factor. So you put everything together, you'll have to say that these numbers look good, and the stock could open up in the green as well. But let's hop across to Mangalam. He's tracking two companies. One is Titan on their operational update and Nestle because there's been an increase in royalty. Mangalam, take it away.
Well, Titan will be in focus because it's updated, given its Q4 update. The jewelry business of the company grew about 18%. Some of the brokers were expecting about 12 to 13% sort of growth. So it's beat estimates. Now, you would say that Kalyan Jewellers reported a 38% growth in jewelry. So what's big in Titan? If you look at it, the 2-year CAGR has been around 25%. So that's comparable. Titan's base is a lot higher. And other than jewelry, their Taneira business, which is the sari business, did well, and as did their CaratLane business, which was up 30%. The only two flies in the ointment were watches and wearables, which grew just about 7%, and eye care, which fell by about 1%. So as a result of which, I see mild green on Titan. For Nestle, there could be mild red. Why is that? Because the board has approved royalty increase to the parent company, will increase royalty from 4.5% to 5.25% over the next 5 years, which amounts to 0.15% increase every year. Now, a back-of-envelope calculation suggests that it could impact their EBITDA by about 0.7 to 0.8%. This is a mild negative, but the fact that the overhang is gone could be, a positive from the lows in today's trading session as well. So I'll watch the opening, but more importantly, watch the closing.
All right, thanks a lot for that. Vodafone Idea also in focus this morning. Reema has the latest for us. Reema, over to you.
Thanks so much for that. There was a board meet on Saturday where the Vodafone board has approved the issuance of nearly 140 crore shares to the promoters, the Aditya Birla Group entity, at a price of 14 rupees 87 paise. With this, the Aditya Birla Group will infuse 2,075 crore rupees into the company. This was known. If you remember, the company had intimated that the board will meet on Saturday to infuse 2,075 crore rupees. With this, the Aditya Birla Group shareholding in Vodafone Idea will rise to nearly 20%. This fund infusion by promoter paves the way for the external fundraise, which is 20,000 crore rupees via equity and then 25,000 crore rupees via lenders. The board will also convene an EGM, an extraordinary general meeting, on 8th of May to approve the promoter infusion. Also separately, the board has approved the increase in the authorized share capital to 1 lakh crore. Back to you.
All right, thanks very much for that. Abhishek is now back with us with some business updates across financials. Abhishek, morning.
Morning, Prashant. To begin with Cholamandalam, Q4 is seasonally a strong quarter for them, and they have seen that happening in the business as well. Disbursals are up 17% YOY, but 9.9% sequentially, so strong disbursal growth over there. YOY disbursals have grown by 6% for vehicle finance, LAP, that is loan against property, by 52%, home loans 21%, MSME by 1%, consumer and small enterprise loan by 40%, and secured business and personal loan, a relatively new business, has grown by 87%. Cash in balance sheet is 8,100 crore, of which 3,750 crore is in high quality asset that they have, high quality liquidity asset. AUM growth is at 35.7% YOY and about 8.4% sequentially. Now, this is not the PPT AUM, but it's just an AUM based on AUM plus cash in the balance sheet. Bank of Baroda credit deposit ratio has declined. Net interest margin could be under pressure in this quarter, looking at the business update. Deposits are up 10.2% YOY and about 6.6% quarter-on-quarter. Advances growth is at 12.5% YOY and less than 4% quarter-on-quarter. Domestic retail loans have grown really well at 5.5% quarter-on-quarter. It looks like, the corporate and SME loans might have grown on a relatively lower growth rate this time around. CD ratio, that is credit to deposit ratio, has declined sequentially, which means there could be pressure on the net interest margin as well. Back to you.
Okay, thanks for that, Abhishek. Well, let's go back to Mangalam. He's tracking Godrej Consumer. Mangalam.
Well, good update coming in. May well be the stock of the day today. The Godrej Consumer consolidated organic sales growth has been mid-single digit, but volume growth has been high single digit. The company says their margins continue to expand year on year despite them having increased their media investments. The India business, including Raymond acquisitions of Park Avenue and Kamasutra, have actually reported double-digit volume growth, and that is something that the street will like. Goodnight Agarbatti, which is again a fast-growing category in an otherwise weak category, has done well for them too. Indonesia, which is the next geography for them, has reported double-digit both revenue and volume growth. And Africa business on a constant currency basis has done well, but because of the Nigerian currency devaluation, there would be reported loss in Africa in terms of revenue. But the street will like the fact that the company has reported double-digit volume growth on a consolidated basis, because this is a sector which is currently, parched for growth. And in that, if a company is reporting double-digit volume growth, the street will like it.
All right. Mangalam, thanks very much for that. Now, the next one is Indiabulls Real Estate, right? I mean, there was that board meet on Friday for fundraising, and that came through some big names in the list there. Sonal has got details. Sonal.
Well, yes, some marquee names which have invested or have issued preferential warrants in the fundraise that the company has announced. 3,911 crore rupees will be raised via preferential allotment, and the names like Embassy Group, which will be catering to 1,160 crore rupees, Bailey Gifford, which will be given 209 crore rupees, Blackstone Real Estate Fund around 1,235 crore rupees, and other investors via which the company will be raising 1,243 crore rupees. The other investors include the likes of Quant Active Fund, Poonawalla Finance, there is Microlabs, Maybank, Utpal Shade and Capri Global as well. So this is something that the street would like. The stock, remember, is already up 25% this month. They've also announced some asset acquisitions. They've announced acquisition of 4 projects amounting to 1,853 crore rupees. This will be all in cash. So this fund could be used for that. But yes, a green tick on the stock, which is expected because of these big names entering the stock.
All right, thanks a lot for that. So here's a quick recap of our top stocks. Stocks with positive news flow: Tata Steel, Titan, Vodafone Idea, Cholamandalam, Godrej Consumer, Indiabulls Real Estate and Wipro, while stocks with negative news flow Bandhan Bank, Nestle and Bank of Baroda. But what's also happening is that there has been a big rise in crude prices over the last many days and weeks. Manisha Gupta is joining in. Not just crude, gold prices have also been moving up. Manisha is with us. Manisha, what's the latest there?
Well, Sonia, I would want to take a look at gold because every time you move slightly from it, it's made a new all-time high. So that's exactly what we are looking at in the Asian markets right now. $2,350 an ounce is done now. So every day, and today is the 10th straight trading session when gold is making an all-time highs right now. Well, when you look at the OTCs and the future markets, those have seen 40% rise in trading volumes, even as the non-farm payroll data came in better than expected and the dollar index is trading firm. This is one sector that continues to see very, very heated volumes and moves on the higher side. Contrary to that, the crude oil prices have started slightly on a weaker note today. We have seen 2 weeks on gains of this one. Crude prices gained 4% in the previous week, but there are reports that Israel is now withdrawing more soldiers from South Gaza, and some of that premium seems to be coming off the prices. Having said that, the markets will see support because Saudi Arabia has hiked official selling price for all grades for the month of May to the Asian consumers there. So it's a bit of a contradicting of fundamentals, but at this point in time, the premium continues on. But from 91.5 that we saw on Friday, we're trading at 89.5 right now. So $2 off the kind of highs that we saw for 2024.
Manisha, thanks very much. The other sort of, in a way, a popular hedge, right, against geopolitical risk, which is gold, that is also coming off a little bit. I think gold prices are down about 1% or so right now. Manisha, thank you for that. And we'll come back to you with more questions later. Prakash is going to be joining us on the other side with some fundamental stock check that's coming up in a bit from now. Stay with us.